Good morning, College of the Atlantic. Today's date is October 26, 2015, and welcome to Episode 4 of the Windward News. I'm Evan Martin.
And I'm Abigail St.
And this episode is brought to you by cocaine. Where are we out of napkins?
It's finally here, folks. Faculty retreat. That means there are no classes Thursday or Friday, and we have the weekend.
Oh, thank God.
Also, there is no ACM this week, so you can take the time to find your Halloween costume and have a happy Halloween.
So where are you going to be for Halloween, Abby?
A pregnant pope.
Sweet.
You?
I'm going to be a slutty redneck.
Nice.
Yeah. Up next, our correspondent Abby sat down with Millard to talk about the upcoming Route 3 developments.
I'm here with Millard Dority, who is head of Buildings and Grounds, here to talk about the project plan for Route 3. So, Millard, what is the project plan?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. This is a great opportunity for the community to hear more about what's going on. But it's quite a complicated project, and it began like 5 years ago. Believe it or not, the design process, and it's a project that's going to go from about Pirates Cove, if you know where Pirates Cove is, up at Salisbury Cove, to the intersection of Route 3 and Mount Desert Street. And it's a really large project, and I think the most important thing is that it is the second project in the state of Maine that was developed under the Context Sensitive Solutions program from the Maine Department of Transportation, and that is a program where they bring in stakeholders, property owners who border the property, interested people in the town, and just people in general. And they bring all those people together to help to come up with a plan that's more sensitive to the existing context of where this is happening. Because historically, DOT works with a set of standards, and those standards might be applicable in Portland, downtown Portland, but maybe they're not in this area. And one of the most important things here is that and I'm sure most people know that Route 3 has been designated as a National Scenic Byway. And so that gave us also more clout as far as negotiating with existing standards from the MDOT. But it's a 4-mile project, and it's the total cost of $18 million. And the most amazing thing is that the state is paying for over $17.5 million of it, and so the town has to put up a little over $400,000 in order to get this massive improvement project.
Awesome. So when will the project start, and when should it be done?
The project is slated. I'll back up just a little bit. The final report was distributed in 2011, and so they've been in what they call now the constructability phase to make sure that they can build what they think they can, all the information that they've gathered from the advisory panel and their engineers and all that. And so they're hoping to begin construction in the fall of 2016.
And how long will it take to finish it?
That's a really good question. A lot of the details, and one of the issues with the constructability phase is they're looking at a broad range of possibilities. So it's really up to the town. If we make no concessions, if we make them work close down July and August, and if we make them work regular work days, then we could be looking at as much as 3.5 years. If we're willing to make some concessions, like allowing them to work 7 days a week, allowing them to work some nights, allowing them to work through the summer, then we could cut a whole year off that. And so I think that there was general consensus in the advisory panel that we're willing to make those concessions, to bite the bullet in order to get it done as quickly as possible, to not make it drag out any longer than it has to.
Mm-hmm. What is the impact on the campus?
Well, let me just describe what we're going to see when you. So what it's going to look like in our area. So, and a lot of these are deviations of standards. They've allowed us to shorten stuff up. But what the project includes along our border on Route 3 is 2 11-foot travelways, 2 4-foot shoulders, a 3-foot esplanade on the east side, which is our property, and then a 10-foot wide multi-use pedestrian and bicycle path. I think everyone can understand when you start talking about a 10-foot wide multi-use pathway, a 3-foot esplanade that separates it from the travelway, and the shoulder, which is terrific. And then so there's going to be an impact. We're going to see it's going to be a drastic difference, I think, along our face onto Route 3. And everybody talks about the European black pines. That's a good example, right? We've had an arborist study them. They're old and they have salt damage. There's even a chance that they may have an infestation of some sort. And so we're going to lose those trees. There's no question about it. Now, having said that, though, let me just say that Campus Planning and Building Committee in the last meeting of the spring term hosted the head engineer, Roby Moulton, the landscape architect of record on this project, Larry Johansman, and several other members of DOT, and we actually walked the front of the Route 3 frontage. So while there is going to be a change, the benefit of that change is going to greatly outweigh the stuff we're going to lose.
Well, that's good. Will it be difficult for people who live off campus or even faculty and staff that are not necessarily on campus to get to campus? Will there be a delay with construction?
I'm sure at times there will be a delay in construction, but the plan is to never close the road. So there will be one-way traffic, and the DOT is working with the town and with the Katy National Park to try to coordinate what's the best flow. Is it best to have people come into campus? Come into town, coming north to south, having the traffic go one way here and then go out around to 233, or is there a better way? Should it go the other way? I think the business people in the area believe that the best solution would be to have visitors coming from off the island come into town. But there will be, honestly, there's very little chance that there will not be any disruptions. There will be. It's a matter of, again, it's going to be a matter of, can we get through it? Can we go as quickly as we can and get it over with, and then have this new improvement?
Exactly. Where can listeners find more information about the project if they have more questions?
Please, that's a great question. Please, anyone who wants more information can contact me in my office at 801-5690. I have the entire history of this project over there. And you can probably go, I bet you can go on the Maine Department of Transportation's website and go under Context Sensitive Solutions, and you'll see the MDI project, the Bar Harbor project, really. So there are a number of ways to do it, but I really appreciate this opportunity to share with the community this really important project.
Well, thank you so much for coming and answering our questions and informing the community more about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This Tuesday, October 27th at 4:10 p.m. in the McCormick Lecture Hall, John Davis and Kathleen Henley from the Wildlands Network presents Rewilding the East, exploring eastern wildways from the Everglades to the Boreal Forest.
On Wednesday, the RAs will be hosting their annual haunted house at 8 p.m. in Turrets.
It was amazing last year. I can't wait to see it this year.
And on Thursday, the Criterion Theater presents the Rocky Horror Picture Show live at 8 p.m. You don't want to miss this, kids.
This Friday at 8:30 in the Turrets Great Hall, COA presents Able Thought and Golden Oak. Admission is free. Arrive early to get a good seat. I hear they're really good, so you guys are going to want to see this. Our correspondent Josh sat down with COA alumna Noreen Hogan to talk about the project she is involved with in Gambia, the Groovy African Ladies Music School.
Today I'm here with Noreen Hogan from the Groovy African Ladies Music School, and she's here to talk to us about her Indiegogo campaign that they're working on at the school. So Noreen, where's this school at?
It's in the Gambia in West Africa, and Miriam Brody, who graduated, she didn't graduate, she's an alum. Mm-hmm. I graduated in 91, and we've teamed up to start this school. She's currently living in Europe and teaching in a music school in Bavaria, but she's given guitar workshops and has done musical exchanges in this town in the Gambia, and that's where it's at, in West Africa.
Fantastic. And what's kind of the goal or mission of the school?
The goal is to start not just a music school to teach women guitar playing, but also to give them all the skills for full production. So, soundboard, mixing, lights, everything for full productions. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so what inspired Miriam to start this project? Because it's a big undertaking.
Well, I think over 20 years ago, she and her then husband were on their world honeymoon, and they met somebody in Thailand, another musician, who invited them to go to the Gambia because he had been there numerous times studying with a kora teacher. And since then, Miriama has returned, I think, 6 or 7 times just for cultural exchanges, to learn kora, to teach guitar. So that's her relationship with this community.
Okay. So that sounds really interesting. So you said she's a musician herself, and you brought some of her music with you. Let's take a listen to that.
Okay.
I'm trying to find my way out here, make my way across the world, travel far and wide. Meet beautiful and interesting people, hang around with Mother Nature, travel far and wide. Try tasty fruits I never heard of, share 'em with a friend, travel far and wide. Travel far and wide, open up your eyes. You said you want to see something beautiful. Travel far and wide, now you must decide. It's time to really feel the wonder. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's beautiful music. So, how can we support and learn more about this program?
Well, one thing is to go to the Indiegogo website under Groovy African Ladies Music School, and you'll get linked up to that. Another thing is I've posted the campus with information, and people can call me at home. I'm in the phone book of all things, so I can be found.
And what goal are you guys trying to reach?
Well, the goal is a very modest goal of $14,000, and that will fund the school for an entire year. That means purchasing guitars, because right now there's just a collection of not very great guitars. So Miriama will purchase guitars. She has a connection in Germany who's going to give her a discount. Purchasing guitars for her to travel to the Gambia, set up the school. She'll be there for 4 months. And then when she returns to Bavaria, to her life, her musical life there, because she is a teacher and performer, she will have an in-country person in the Gambia to continue running the school. And her goal is then to return in the winter times there. And so that's what that initial funding's for.
Okay. How can anyone who's maybe interested in helping out contact you?
Well, my car, which is parked all over, is a little black car, and there's a large yellow magnet on it that says, "Please support Groovy African Ladies Music School." That's one way. And since October 1st, I've been wearing one of 2 T-shirts, either in orange or yellow, that has our Groovy African Ladies Music School logo on it. On the back is a QR code that if you have a smartphone, you can just scan my back as you go by, and you can get hooked right up to the video and the Indiegogo website.
Fantastic. Sounds like all very creative ways to definitely find you. And you're on campus, correct?
I'm on campus on Mondays and Thursdays for Nancy Andrews' documentary filmmaking class. My email is noreenhogan@hotmail.com, or look for my number in the phone book.
Fantastic. Looking forward to hearing more about this project as it develops. Thanks for coming on, Noreen.
Thank you, Josh.
And up next, my co-host Abby here is going to read a poem for us.
A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe. Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow you are not wrong, who deem that my days have been a dream. Yet, if hope has flown away in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand, how few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep while I weep, while I weep. O God, can I not grasp them now a tighter clasp? O God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream? Thanks for listening in with us, folks. I'm Abby St.
And I'm Evan Martin.
This episode was edited and produced by Josh Tone, published by Maximum Tone Records. This week's episode was recorded at the College of the Atlantic Recording Studio.
Interviews by Abby St. and Josh Tone. If you have content that you would like featured in the podcast, please email windwardnews@gmail.com. If you would like to be part of the Windward News team, please email jtone@coa.edu. And remember, COA students, please be safe this weekend.